So good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining. It is Sunday, June 14th. So I hope everyone is having a great weekend, enjoying the beautiful weather. And we'll get started today. We're going to need a small weight, about halfway through. But to start, we will sit up nice and tall, stacking your shoulders over your hips, and take a couple of nice deep breaths in through your nose and out through your mouth. So nice and tall through the spine, but relax your shoulders. One more. And then bring your right hand high up on your rib cage. Let your left hand fall heavy to the floor behind you. Right ear to right shoulder. And take a couple of nice deep breaths in. Propping up that right side. Let the left side fall heavy. And deep breath. Coming back to center, we'll switch sides. Left hand up. Left ear to left shoulder. Really let that right hand fall heavy behind you. And with each deep breath in, you'll feel a little bit of a pull in the back right side of your neck. Come back to center. On your next breath in, reach up with your right hand. Nice long stretch on the right side. And then exhale, twist, left hand to right knee. And again, inhale, reach. And exhale, twist. Couple more on this side. Back to center and switch sides. So inhale, reach up with the left. And exhale, twist. Nice long stretch on that inhale. And exhale, twist. One more on this side. And back to center. I'm going to turn long on my mat. You're on a yoga mat. Feet should be at about mat width apart. Work the muscles of your legs to press them down onto the mat. Flex at the ankles, toes pointed back towards you. Inhale, reach your hands up to shoulder height, and on your exhale, reach out and down past opposite little toe, keeping those legs pressed down. Back up and out to the other side. And inhale up. Exhale out to the other side. Exhale out. And then let's add 3 pulses in. So you'll inhale up tall, exhale in 3 pulses forward. So use each of those exhales, each of those pulses to reach a little further forward. A couple more. Come back to center. Bring our feet together. I'm going to roll back, so make sure that you're not going to crash into something behind you. Legs continue to be active and press down onto the mat, ankles flexed. Inhale, reach your hands forward. And exhale, roll slowly back. Resisting the whole way down, curve your spine. Placing it down on the mat, 1 vertebrae at a time, all the way down. Inhale at the bottom, and exhale, roll up just as slowly. Try reaching a little bit further forward each time. So maybe taking a hold of your shins, walking your hands down to your ankles and your feet. So you get a nice stretch at the top with that forward fold. One more. I'm going to come down on my side. Extend your lower arm out onto the floor in front of you. Your knees can be bent for stability. You'll begin by resting your palms together, and you can, just rest your head on the floor, or I suppose I could have said if you have a pillow or something, you can put it under your head. But just bringing your hands together, and then reach up to stack that hand up over your shoulder and close it back down. So you're keeping your chest facing forward, you're keeping your hips and shoulders stacked. And I want you to create some tension here. So as you're raising your arm up, imagine that you have a resistance band or something that you're working against. So it's not just, raising it up, it's creating that tension, warming up the muscles. A couple more. Last one. And then we'll do a windmill up overhead. So that top hand is going to trace along the floor, up overhead, bicep to ear, and then raise up, and then close your palms together. And tracing up overhead as much as your shoulder mobility will allow. And palms back together. A couple more, reaching up. You're still keeping your chest facing forward though. We're not doing a spinal twist, just shoulder mobility. Last one. All right, and then we'll do the other side. So again, that lower arm reaches out onto the mat in front of you. You can bend your knees for stability, hips stacked one over the other, shoulders stacked one over the other. And start with palms together. And open up, hands stacked over your shoulder and back together. Create tension. Engage the muscles of the arms as you reach up and back down. Two more. And then we do that half windmill up overhead. So tracing your fingertips up along the floor, bicep to ear, and then reach up, palms back together. Unless you have a cat in the way, and then you go over the cat. Reach up, and palms together. Always in exactly the wrong place. Fingertips up, reach up, and back down. Two more. All right. And make sure I have my weight close at hand. And roll down onto the back. So we'll take a moment, find our imprint into the mat. So little tilts of the pelvis, allow your low back to arch up, and then press it down. Allow it to arch, press it back down. And then press your low back down, keep it pressed down. On your next inhale, reach up, out opposite arm and leg, keeping your low back pressed down, engaging through the center, back to center. Inhale, reach, low back is pressed down, belly button pulled in. Exhale, back to center. Inhale, reach. Exhale, back to center. Nice long reach. Get as much distance as you can between fingers and toes. And one more each side. And then you're going to grab your weight. Low back is still going to be pressed down. Reach that weight stacked up over your chest, hands up over your shoulders, and then bring your legs into tabletop. So your knees should be stacked up over your hips, shins parallel to the floor, ankles flexed. Start lowering your hands up to the floor over your head. You'll get about halfway out, so about 45 degrees. Adjust as needed to make sure that your low back is still pressed down, feeling your lats engaged. And then tap one heel down and then the other. So low back is pressed down, belly button pulled down. Couple more. Last one each side. Bring that weight back into center. Hug your knees into center. Just relax for a moment. And then legs back to tabletop. Bring that weight up over your chest again. This time I'm going to bend my elbows, keeping that bend to the elbows, keeping legs in tabletop. Reach that weight all the way to the floor overhead. So tap it down and come back up. Low back press down, legs in tabletop. So your knees should be stacked over your hips. Let's do a couple more of these. Back to center. Straight arms again. Again, bringing that weight up towards the floor overhead. So arms are about 45 degrees from the floor. And this time we go into the full leg extensions, pressing away with that heel, one heel at a time. The other leg stays in tabletop, pressing out and back in. Low back press down. Make sure those arms are straight and you're engaging your shoulders and your chest and your core. Hold that weight out there. Let's do one more each side. Back into center. Bring that weight in, set it down. And hug your knees in. Raise chest and shoulders up. And let's go into a set of single leg stretches. So with chest and shoulders raised up towards the ceiling, extend your left leg out to 45 degrees from the floor, hugging your right knee in. Inhale and switch. Inhale and switch. Couple more. Last one. And relaxing. Hugging knees into center. Pick up that weight again. So we're going to start with legs stacked up over your hips. Hands are stacked up over your shoulders. So everything is pointed straight up overhead to start. Lower that weight, again, up towards the floor overhead, just slightly. Hold in place. Low back press down. Start lowering both legs down just a little bit and back up. So your arms aren't moving here. They're stationary, holding that weight. Your legs are just moving a little bit. Doesn't have to be low down towards the floor, just enough to get that core engaged. You'll feel it working to keep your low back pressed down. Couple more. And last one. Bring your knees in, bring that weight in, everything into the center, and relax for just a moment. And again, legs in tabletop. Going back to the one that we did before with the bent elbows and the overhead press. So I have a bend to my elbows, holding that weight in both hands, legs in tabletop, low back press down, and slowly lower that weight to the floor and back up. So again, you're keeping that bend to the elbows the whole time. Two more. Back into center. You're going to have the weight in your right hand. Your right foot is going to be down on the mat, right knee bent. Extend your left leg out, down and out onto the mat. Left hand is down by your side. Bring that right hand to stack up over your shoulder. So you want to keep that hand with the weight stacked over your shoulder the whole time. And engaging the core, mostly obliques on this one. Press that weight up towards the ceiling. You come up on your left elbow and slowly lower back down. So even though I'm saying come up onto your elbow, I want you to engage your core to do this. So you're not pushing on your elbow, just coming up onto it. Gaze is on that weight the whole time as you push up towards the ceiling. Two more. And last one. And switch sides. Weight in the left hand, right leg extended down onto the mat, right hand down at your side. Left knee bent, foot on the mat. And again, working to keep that weight stacked right up over your shoulder. Push it up to the ceiling, keep your gaze on it, and lower back down. Push up towards the ceiling, and back down. Two more. Last one. All right, set that weight down for just a moment and hug your knees in. Little side to side roll. And then I'm going to pick up my weight again. Legs in tabletop. Weight in both hands. Straight arms. I'm going to reach up overhead with my straight arms. I have to move because I'm hitting the wall. All right, reach straight up overhead. You don't need to come all the way to the floor. In fact, most people would not be able to. Yeah, don't. I'm just going to say don't reach all the way up to the floor because I don't want you doing that with your shoulders. So reach about halfway up, deep breath in at the bottom, and then exhale. Reach up like you're putting that weight on your right shin, and back up overhead. Right shin again. Working to keep those legs in tabletop. So try not to pull your knee in towards you. Couple more. Back to center, relax for just a moment. I think the hardest part of that is not having your knee be helpful and try to tuck in. It wants to pull in towards your center. So again, set up in tabletop. Reach that weight up overhead. Deep breath in at the bottom. Exhale, up over left shin. Two more. And release back into center. I want to do one more set of those overhead presses. So again, legs in tabletop, weight in both hands. Bend the elbows, low back press down, and slowly lower that weight to the floor overhead, and back up, keeping that bend to the elbows the whole time. Two more. And last one. And release down. All right, set that weight aside. Hands down by your sides and just windshield wiper your knees out side to side. And then come on up to seated. Have your weight close at hand. Just start with your feet planted out on the mat in front of you. Now, if you can't get your feet flat, I'm not sure if you can see them in the camera view. If you can't get your feet flat, that's fine. You can rest on your heels, but definitely have your heels down in front of you. Start sitting up nice and straight through the spine. Option to have the weight in hand here. I'm going to reach it out in front. If you don't have your weight, you would just hold your hands out at shoulder width and just hold them out there. Just set your shoulders so you don't want your ears scrunched up, but set those shoulder blades down and together. Deep breath in at the top and exhale. Roll part way back, keeping that weight out in front of you. Working to keep those arms parallel to the floor. Two more. And relax into the center. So on this next one, we're going to twist as we come up, emphasizing the as we come up part. So it's the same kind of movement back, straight arms out in front of you, but I want you to twist. So now the weight, or the space in your hands, if you're not doing it with weight, but the weight is going to be straight up and down. Come back and twist. So rather than sit up and then twist, I want you to really work to twist as you come up. Deep breath in as you sit back. Exhale, twist as you come up. And we're staying to the right. We're doing one side at a time. And again, you can certainly do this without the weight. Just keep your arms in position as if you're holding a weight. One more. Reset in the center. And we'll go out to the left. So again, reaching out in front of you, arms straight out in front at the top. Sit back. Twist as you reach up and to the left. Sit back and up. Two more. All right, then release down, set that weight down, and just roll forward over your knees. Nice C curve of your spine, just relax forward. You can rest your arms down next to your sides. You can set the weight aside. I'm going to roll over onto my stomach. Hopefully, yes, in the camera. Tall person problems. All right. So you're going to start your arms out at shoulder height. Palms down on the floor. Your gaze you're going to want to keep right on the mat below your nose. So don't look up and put a strain on your neck. You want to keep your gaze down. You can even feel free to rest your forehead on the mat in front of you. I'm going to keep turning to talk to the camera, but I want you to keep looking down once you see me do this once. And I'll talk you through it each time. So we're going to squeeze our glutes. As soon as you do that, you feel your legs raise up off of the mat. Pull your belly button up towards your spine. Squeeze your glutes a little bit more. And then I want you to reach your hands, hover them up off the floor. So they're just directly above where they were before. You're squeezing your shoulder blades together, holding here, and then reach your fingertips down towards your feet. Palms are still facing down towards the floor. Bring those palms back up to hover just over the floor where they started, and release everything down. And we do that again, starting with the glutes, squeezing them, feel those legs lift up. Engaging your centers, your belly button is pulled up towards your spine. Float your hands right up over the floor, directly over where they were resting, squeezing those shoulder blades together a little bit more. And then keeping palms flat down towards the floor, reach your fingertips down towards your feet. Still squeezing those shoulder blades. Palms back to where they started, and release everything to the floor. And we'll do 2 more of those. So again, squeezing the glutes, raise the legs up. Palms up over the floor. And then start reaching back, really squeezing those shoulder blades down and together. And again, my palms are facing the floor. You're not turning them in, keeping them down, facing the floor, squeezing those shoulder blades together. Back up and release. I said 2 more, didn't I? Regretting that now. Means we still have 1 more. All right. Squeezing those glutes. Raise your hands up. Squeeze the shoulder blades together. And reach back. And palms are facing flat down towards the floor. Squeeze those shoulder blades together. And back up. Oh, and release to the floor. And I'm going to push it back into a child's pose. And just release any tension that you might have pulled into that low back. So you can reach your hands out in front of you, or reach your hands down towards your heels. Whatever allows your low back to relax. And when you're ready, come on up. On all fours. Take a moment here for a couple of cat and cows. Arch the back up. Big over-exaggerated arch. Head falls heavy between your upper arms. And then let your spine sag. Chin up, chest forward. Pull your belly button in. And again. And again. So you can just alternate between this on your breath. and then come back to neutral spine. Let's go through some alternating bird dogs. So spine is neutral. Going to reach out opposite arm and leg. Push away with your heel, reaching forward with your fingertips. Back down. And opposite sides. Again, I like to do this on my breath. Inhale, reach. Exhale, back to center. Couple more. One more each side. And release down. All the way down into a child's pose. Reach your left arm under and through, so resting on your left shoulder. Back to center. And reach your right arm under and through. And back to center. Really reaching fingertips forward. Walk your hands out to the right. Really reaching out to the right side. Feel that stretch in the left, your lats. Back to center and walk your hands out to the left side. And back to center. When you're ready, let's come on up. And that's our class for today. I'm going to say goodbye and thank you to Facebook for joining us.